Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to compare two very popular dive watches. So we have the Tudor Pelagos and we have the Omega Seamaster Diver 300. Both are priced similarly, and if you're shopping around, you're probably looking at both of these and most likely trying to compare to see which one you should get. Right off the bat, I can tell you that the Pelagos is a lot thicker. Well, maybe not like a lot thicker, but it is a lot tall. Well, it's like, I think like a millimeter in difference, but you can see, or maybe even over a millimeter, but you can kind of see like how tall the Pelagos is and how much lower in height the Seamaster is. The lug width on the Pelagos is 18 millimeters, and on the Seamaster, it is 20. So the Seamaster is probably more strap friendly. I wear my watches mainly on bracelets, but I do wear straps mainly on Panerai and Bell and Ross. But if you do like to switch straps, there's probably more available for this leg width. Next up, we're gonna check out the weight. I do have a scale right there. Let's reset this. It's not going to 0. Okay, it's at 0. Okay, let's put the Omega on the crack scale first. Okay, why is the scale not resetting? Okay, it's at 0. It says it is 6 ounces. Okay, let's put this to grams. Where's grams? Okay, it's 176 grams. Yep. It's 176 grams. And let's check out the Tudor. Oops. The Tudor is 140 grams. So it's quite a bit lighter, but you'd expect that with titanium. Okay, now to the size of the watch. Both are 42 millimeters, so exactly the same. But like with most watches, sometimes one will look bigger than the other, depending on how the face, dial, and bezel is laid out. The Pelagos looks, to me, the face of the Pelagos looks a little bit bigger than the Seamaster. But that could just be how it's laid out. Another difference between these two, obviously, is the helium escape valve. Some people like it, some people hate it. I don't really care if it's there or not. I kind of like it that it's there. Looks a little different than other watches. Both of the bracelets are excellent. It's gonna come down to preference of which bracelet you feel suits you better. Okay. Both have an adjustable clasp. They are both adjusted to me, so I'm not gonna really mess with them too much. And I've talked about the clasps of both watches in their separate reviews. So both kind of works the same way. With the Tudor, you pull it out. You pull it out, and then you can move it. You can adjust it. And the Omega is it's a similar situation. Let's get it to focus. Okay, it doesn't want to focus. Hold on. Okay. All right. So the Omega's a little different. You push it in, and then you can move it. Me personally, I prefer the Omega. It just doesn't get more simple than pushing on where it says push and then just moving it. So big points there for Omega. Big points for both compared to Rolex. Well, the Rolex Submariner has a good mechanism, but I have the Easy Link on my GMT as well, and I don't know, that thing's kind of useless. All right, let's talk about the finishing. Obviously, since this is titanium, it has a brushed matte finish to it. It's more grayish in color compared to the Omega, which is very, very shiny and blingy, and I like shiny things. You can probably tell by the bracelets that I wear. I like them iced out, shiny. Shinier watches, or something that stands out a little bit more. I would say the Omega's is more of the choice. The Pelagos is nice, but it's very subdued, very matte. You can take a look at the dial and the bezel. It has a very matte look to it. Kind of looks like a toy. I've been told it looks like a toy, like a Fisher Price toy. I can kind of see it. So everything on this watch is kind of toned down compared to the Omega. From the brushed titanium grayish color to the matte blue bezel and dial. Still beautiful. Compared to the Omega, very shiny, brushed and polished. Has a ceramic bezel and a ceramic dial, which gives it this crazy, gives the dial a crazy reflection, and in the sunlight it looks beautiful. So both are priced around the same price range. I think they're both around 5 Gs or so, give or take. You can find them on the used market slightly less. Which one do I like more? I'm gonna have to say the Omega, just because I've owned the Pelagos was once my dream watch when I was broke. But I've had it for a while now. It doesn't get too much wrist time because I tend to wear a lot of other jewelry like rings, bracelets, and the titanium doesn't really mash up well against it. Kind of looks strange when you have this gray watch and really shiny, iced out, diamond out jewelry. And this is a tricolor actually. So it's white gold, rose gold, yellow gold. So you can wear a yellow gold watch, you can wear a rose gold watch, or you can wear a stainless steel watch. Still looks awesome. So yeah, I also want to talk about the finishing and feel of both of these watches. Just by feel, I would say the Omega feels more expensive. It feels like a more expensive watch compared to the Pelagos. It's heavier, obviously, because the Tudor is titanium, but the pure heft of it just feels more expensive. Feels like it costs more. Add to that the ceramic bezel and the shiny ceramic dial. It seems like it would just cost more than the Tudor. And also the bracelet is silky smooth. I find myself just touching it sometimes. So out of these two, my pick is definitely the Seamaster. I definitely wear this more than I would the Pelagos. Both are great watches. The Pelagos is more of a tool watch, and the Omega is more of fine jewelry. But yeah, I wouldn't say... The only thing with the Omega is I feel like they change their watches too often. Not specifically the Seamaster, but just their designs, like the Aquaterra, the Seamaster, and their shitload of Speedmasters, they change their design even subtly. They change it often, and it usually people want the latest and the greatest. And if you remember the last iteration of the Seamaster, it was a black, like a pitch black dial without the waves. So if you're wearing that now, people know that it's an older version, which is nothing wrong with that. But some people want the latest one, or they want to purchase. Like take Rolex for instance, they barely change their design, so like you don't know if it's like an older model or if it's a newer model because it looks the same. So you get the recognition. But with the Omega, if you remember the the Bond ones, it had the wave dial, and then the iteration after that, it took the waves out. So everybody else that's wearing the one with the wave dial back then, people know it's the old one, and then people want the newer model, the latest and the greatest, so they purchase the other one without the waves. And then now years later, they brought back the waves. So now people that had the last generation without the waves, now people know that's the old one. And if well, I'm not gonna say it feels old, but it's the older model, older version. So they tend to sell that, flip that, and then buy this newer version, which now again has the wave. Anyways, that's just a small thing. It's not a big deal. Companies change watch designs all the time, except for Rolex. And I feel like that's why Rolex holds the value so well, because you can purchase an older sub or Submariner and it looks the same as a new one. And that's what makes things, not barring just watches, cars even, that's what makes it hold value. Kind of like the Dodge Challenger, which I also own. They haven't changed that design since 2008. Well, they've done things minimally, but the Challenger, it looks similar, or it almost looks identical to when it first came up. Anyways, which one do you guys like better? Let me know. Comment below. Thank you for watching.